Hey guys, this is Charlie, and today we're reading Chapter 5 of Judy Moody Goes to College. It's called Breadtude. At morning recess, Judy faked a call on her candy cell phone. During silence, Judy drew a cartoon of Mrs. Grossman out of polygons. At lunchtime, Judy said, "Let's food," and waited in the lunch line with her peeps. When it was her turn, she stepped up to the window and said to the lunch lady, "I'll have a small, tall, upside-down, backward, non-fat cap, extra whip, and make it wet." "Aren't all drinks wet?" asked Frank. "We don't have any coffee," said the lunch lady. "Hot chocolate?" Judy asked. But all they had was chocolate milk. Boring. At college, you can get hot chocolate with a heart design in the foam top, and you can get sprinkles. "Oh, really?" said the lunch lady. "How many kinds of cereal do you have here?" Judy asked. "None. We don't have cereal. It's lunch." At college, you can have breakfast all day, even if it's midnight. Rocky, Frank, and Jessica pushed past Judy. "Do you have a salad bar?" Judy asked. "Salad bars for teachers only." At college, anybody can eat at a salad bar, even kids. "What kind of cafeteria is this? They should call it cafeteriable." "Hey, college," yelled a fifth grader at the back of the line. "Move it along. Some of us want to eat lunch today." Judy took her not wet, no whip, heartless chocolate milk and went to sit with her peeps. "Shh, here she comes. What's she going to brag about now? Yeah, she thinks she's so college." Soon, she, Judy Moody, was eating alone at the lunch table. Fact of life. Rocky minus Frank minus Jessica Finch minus Amy Namey equaled a big fat 0. Not a peep. So Judy stared at her lunch tray. Her peanut butter and jelly sandwich looked so kindergarten. At recess, nobody wanted to play Judy's game, finding polygons hidden on the playground. Judy found a triangle in a tree branch, an octagon where the fence was ripped, and 6 rectangles on the ladder going up to the slide, all by herself. For the first time ever, Judy could not wait for math class. She, Judy Moody, owned the times tables. Look out, here comes the multiplication maniac, the polygon princess, the graph guru, the fraction freak. Just wait till they see me score candy for all the right answers. At last it was time. Mrs. Grossman started writing on the board. Judy sat up straight. She pricked up her best ever listening ears, the one she usually saved for Mr. Todd. She squinted at the board. Words? Why was Mrs. Grossman writing so many words? What did words have to do with math? Hello? Where are all the numbers? And the fractions and the plus signs and the equal signs? Judy raised her hand. "Excuse me," she said. "I thought this was math class. What's with all the sentences?" "We're starting something new today," said Mrs. Grossman. "Multi-step word problems. You have to read the problem first, then do the math one step at a time. That's why we called them word problems," said Mrs. Grossman. Judy had a word problem, all right. A problem with words that were pretending to be math. Mrs. Grossman pointed to the board. Jill had 24 Valentines. She gave 1/2 of her Valentines to her friends at school. Judy raised her hand again. "Who's Jill?" "Jill isn't a real person. She's just somebody in a word problem. So her name could be Chloe," said Judy, "and her school could be a college." Mrs. Grossman shut her eyes and took a deep breath. "Judy, please let me finish." Then Jill gave the other 1/2 of her Valentines to friends who live in her building, except for... Judy raised her hand again. "Building? Like maybe a dorm?" "It doesn't matter, it's just an example. Will we have to draw a graph for this word problem with hearts and Valentines?" asked Judy. "Because in college we get to draw graphs." "Judy, I'm going to have to ask you again to stop interrupting." "I was just saying," said Judy. Mrs. Grossman let out a big breath, but her face looked all pinched up. Jill had enough Valentines left over to give to her mom, her dad, and her little sister. "Jill sounds like a pill," said Judy. "Judy, that's it," said Mrs. Grossman. She pointed to a tent in the back of the room. "You mean I have to go in that tent?" "That's why we call it the attitude tent," said Mrs. Grossman. "But I'm not really in a camping attitude," said Judy. Go sit in the tent and don't come out till you can show me an attitude adjustment. And not another word about college, Judy. Mrs. Grossman was the reason she went to college in the first place. She wished Mrs. Grossman would go back to where she came from in the first place, New England, probably Massachusetts. Judy hung her head and slunk to the back of the room. She crawled inside the tent. It was kind of like the Toad Pea clubhouse inside, minus any peeing toads, of course. She, Judy Moody, did not even play with her Ask a Question Watch 5000. She thought about what she'd done, but she could not for the life of her understand why Mrs. G didn't like her attitude. Didn't Mrs. Grossman know a positive mathitude when she saw one? Now her mathitude had turned into a matitude. Math was no fair. Math equals life. Life is no fair. See? A person who could do a multi-step word problems even in an attitude tent. No biggie. You just have to have the right mathitude. Okay guys, chapter 6 is called Not So Baditude. And we'll do that in the next video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to like, subscribe, and click the bell. And I'll see you guys next video.